Share my screen.
Good morning, YouTube. It's Friday time for our Friday Live. And today, Lucy has put together like 40 slides, but
45.
it's very, very thorough. And it's exactly what you will need if you have never set up a shipping template, or if you think you want to redo your shipping template that might be old and outdated and needs to be looked at again. And so today we are going to go through the slides and all things about merchant fulfilling during Q4. Some people only merchant fulfill during Q4. Some have never done it before and are afraid, and maybe you're missing out. And so today this show is for you. Good morning, Lucy.
Good morning. Yes. So I went through and I've helped a few people over the summer set up their merchant fulfilled templates for different business styles. The only thing I don't really have covered is if you are using some sort of API feed into like a Shopify print on demand. This is going to be for merchant fulfilling. If you've never merchant fulfilled, we're going to cover all the topics, how to set up. And then we have a whole section on like commonly asked questions and answers. How do you cancel a label? How do you reprint a label? Where do you find your things? What are some common search issues? So all of those. But we do have a couple of announcement thingies going on just in the reselling world that I wanted to bring to your attention. Be Cool has upped their game. They've come out with a new repricer. I watched the video yesterday, and my friend Reno has walked me through some of the things. They now have one that will toggle and go between your minimum price and then jack it up and kind of manipulate it around. And what it does is it allows for, like, let's say everybody's at $10 and it's kind of low. It will then maybe jack it up to 15, and then the other repricers follow it, and then it goes down. So it's interesting. Go ahead and go check out their videos and whatnot, because that is going to be really important to get. I now play around with about 5 different repricing strategies, depending on what it is. If it's just my own private label item, or if I'm on a listing, if it's RA, if it's wholesale, if it's old inventory, if it's new inventory, I have kind of different philosophies for everything. The other thing that I wanted to add in is last night, finally Amazon announced that the Ground Advantage is now going to be part of it. And this came out just as I finished all my screenshots. So just be aware that Ground Advantage will now be in there. I feel like, gosh, I'm less than 12 hours out of date. And whatever, you should have gotten that email. And then last, at the end of next week, what is it, 29th, Tuesday? Small and Light goes away officially.
Yep,
So,
Small and Light is no more, but they still are going to lower the prices from what it used to be if you didn't have Small and Light enrolled. So it's not the end of the world, and we can't control it anyway.
Yes. And then I am so sorry I missed everybody in ASD, but my husband is recovering well. He's doing good. We have the first post-op, and Tina sent me the most amazing gift. I absolutely love it. This is totally me.
They're F's to give, a jar of them, a whole jar of them.
I love it. I almost sent somebody one the other day because I was like, I have things to give. So now it's at my desk, and I needed this because I have been at my wit's end with a lot of things. Personally, just to be upfront with everybody, I have switched my CPA. So I don't know.
Did you give her one? Thank you. Thank you.
Everyone here, we're on good terms.
Thank you.
Yes, my CPA and I are on good terms, and she may do my yearly taxes, but I am going to go with the profit first. What is it called? Books Keep. My friend Casey is there. Yes. And then I am going to go with Tina's Bookkeeper for monthly bookkeeping. So I'm trying something out different, but you got to keep switching it up. But now on to merchant fulfilling settings. Merchant fulfilling settings. I don't think much in Amazon is really user-friendly, and merchant fulfillment settings is no different, man.
It's no different. I was working with a coaching student yesterday, helping her. And the reason why I bring this up is because it's what you just said about Amazon is not easy to navigate. Amazon is not user-friendly on the back end, meaning for us sellers. And this is what my client said to me. She says, wow, you would think with a billion-dollar company like Amazon is, they would have better customer service for sellers and their website would be easy to navigate. She says, this is very hard. This is not what I was expecting when I decided to sell on Amazon. And I thought that was very well said.
Yeah. I got into it the other day with one of the reps. They told me they couldn't do something. She was telling me that I was going to have to delete an ASIN, and the client already has shipped the stuff in from New Zealand to America, so it wasn't cheap. And she's like, oh, you have to delete that ASIN and relist it. And I'm like, no, get me a supervisor. And the supervisor's like, no, you don't have to. Their help is different depending on who you talk to.
That's
And that
right.
makes it hard if you don't know what's going on to say, no,
Right.
that's wrong, because you think they're the experts.
And that's why I bring it up, because if you are a seasoned seller or you're a new seller and setting up a merchant fulfilled shipping template seems complicated or makes you question yourself or what to do, it's not you, it's Amazon. So
Yeah.
anyway, let's dive into your slides because this is going to be a great tutorial.
Yes. So to access them, you are going to go to the gear. It's in the upper right-hand column. A lot of us go to the left-hand column, and there's more than one access point for just about everything in Amazon. So if you go there a different pathway, don't worry about it. Amazon's got a lot of pathways to the same website page. And I like to bookmark things as I go to if I use them frequently. So you're going to go to the gear and you're going to go to shipping settings. This is not your FBA settings. If you want your FBA settings, go down to fulfillment by Amazon, and then you can go into your FBA shipping settings. Confusing.
Yeah, these are our shipping settings for those of us merchant fulfilling. This is like eBay for Amazon. We are selling it and we are shipping it, which is what we want to do during Q4.
Yes, and I want to clear up one point that gets confusing so that way we don't get confused later. We are going to have what our shipping settings are. And when you customer, let's say I want to sell this coffee mug, and my settings say that I only want to do UPS and USPS or whatnot, I can have that. And then the customer will order it. And then sometimes you get more options at the end. You'll be like, well, why am I getting FedEx options? That's okay. Your customer didn't see those options, but sometimes you're given more options when you go to actually ship the item. So don't get confused there. It's okay. It's okay, people. All right. In here, you've got two tabs. You've got general shipping settings and shipping templates. They will give you a default template called migrated template. I think it's the most confusing word. Like, why did you name it that? That is so silly, Amazon. Like, I don't know. There's so many other things you could name it. I've always kept mine as migrated template. You can make a new template. You can, from here, you can create a new shipping template. You can assign. You can edit. You can also drop this down and copy it. So if you wanted to make another like very similar template, you can do that and just copy your settings. I usually do the copy in Amazon because then it copies over your address and I don't know, all the other little settings that needs to be done. When you click on the different templates, you can scroll down and see what does that include. So if you're kind of wondering, you know, do you ship to Puerto Rico or not, you're going to go down and you're going to look and see if Puerto Rico's on there, etc. The transit time I have managed by Amazon, and then the shipping fee. This is my default right now. I will not be changing this. This is what I'm going into Q4 with. $4.99 base, $4.99 each additional pound. And that's because I do a lot of chocolate and sometimes big toys. And so if somebody orders, if you say $4.99 and then no additional shipping, they're going to order 28 bags of chocolate from you. Ask me how I know.
Yeah, I've had that happen as well. And I do want to point out before you go on to the next slide,
Yep.
here on this side where you see migrated template, below it you see free shipping US template, and you see priority 875. When you guys look in your account, you're not going to see those two additional ones. And that is because these are templates that Lucy has created. You can create as many templates as you'd like. You can name them whatever you want so they can mean something for you. Maybe you're a private label seller and you have 3 SKUs in your account, and you can create a different shipping template for each one of your SKUs if you want to. for her example, she does have a free shipping template. I'm sure that's for her first class mail. That way she can not charge shipping on Amazon. Again, you use it for however you want to. This is just going to be the process of how to set up your template or your multiple templates.
Yes. So I want to take a minute. Good morning, Millennial Money Mom and Lainey.
Yay.
Glad to see you here. Nate, always nice to see you in the chat. And same with Armand. So good morning, folks. TGIF. Lainey says that she does not see the ship from locations. If you only have one location, you may not have, like, I have several locations I ship from. So if you only have one location, then it may not be there. And your preferred carriers, it's just one of the settings here.
And you can add multiple ship from locations. And once you program them in your account, they will be there.
Yep. Anna says, do you ever do free shipping during Q4? Yeah, on occasion. I don't like it. I definitely prefer charging for shipping during Q4, but there has been some small things, let's say like small, what's the Hallmark ornaments that are super hot? Sometimes those are really light and free, and you can price match and then do free shipping. It just kind of depends on what your competition is and what's working. So if charging for shipping isn't working, then maybe switch to free. Sometimes the weights are in the computer wrong. Have you ever had that happen where Amazon has the wrong weights for your item? You're like, wow, this is not 12 pounds, it's 3 ounces. So clearly somebody entered it in wrong. So there's times to use it, but I do prefer calculated shipping because I make money off of shipping as well. Not much, but a little bit. Oh, that's my neighbors. I have all my doors open. It's very nice here. I got to go over to the screen. I broke it down so you can see here. You can edit the template, copy to the new template, set as your default template. This one is my default. You can delete, and you can look at your revision history. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to create a new shipping template. And if you want to copy it, you can hit the copy here. But we're going to go ahead and create a new shipping template. And then the first part is to select a warehouse location. So I have 2 warehouse locations. I have my house address and my business address. And they're really close. So in terms of, if I wanted to ship from home, let's say I wanted to work, I don't know, Monday during Q4 at home, and it's not going to really matter for calculating. So I'm not going to need to really change this.
And some people might need to add another, they call it a warehouse location. So it could be your home address, could be your warehouse address, right? But some people use wholesale suppliers that are willing to ship from their location. Yep. Or they have somebody that they've hired, a family member in another state that's maybe shipping from a different location. So it could be prep center, whatever. You are allowed to have different warehouse locations that you ship from, and you can program that in your Amazon account.
Yes. So if I wanted to come down and spend Christmas at my mom's house, I could copy the template and just switch it up and ship from her house. Where I was going is, if your addresses are really close, then you don't need to really worry too much about your ship from, because the calculating shipping is going to be the same. Because I'm 10 minutes from my house. But if you're going to be a significant difference, then the calculated shipping is going to be weird, and the post office is going to get upset with you. The next one is fulfillment type preferences. What is this? I want to automate. Oh, this is if you have seller fulfilled Prime or non-Prime. I don't have seller fulfilled Prime. Do you, Tina?
No, and I don't recommend having it, because now you are being now just starting this year during Q4. I don't think the date has began yet. I could be wrong, but Amazon is now going to charge you even more fees for being a seller fulfilled Prime shipping. I've never done it. I think I had it set up that way once, and I chose to opt out of it. It does not affect my sales at all being a non-Prime merchant fulfilled shipper, and it costs you less. There are less fees attached to it.
I was under the impression that right now we cannot even get into, like, it's a closed program. Do you know?
It could be. I get invites for it all the time. I haven't had one in quite some time, but I've had several invites to do seller fulfilled Prime shipping, and I don't want to.
I see. Well, Tina is very good and has gotten invites. I have never, I have not got an invite right now. So I thought it was closed. All right. Next up, we've got region. This is the next tab you're going to see is region preferences, shipping services. And if you select more than one, you're going to have shipping service priority pop up. So region preference, I have that opened up in the next tab. So we'll talk about regions and pros and cons to that. For shipping services, this is where you can select what you want to offer, and then you still might be given more choices later on. So don't worry too much about this. But if like I don't have media mail, is media mail? Media mails, I don't think. Oh yeah, here's media mail for UPS. USPS doesn't have media mail in here. Did they take that away? I remember an email about that.
They may have.
They might have. Anyhow, if you love FedEx, choose FedEx. I do not select the overnight stuff and the 2-day stuff just because it's Q4, man. It's crazy. And while I may think that FedEx is going to get there in a day or two, they get backlogged. I've had things get lost. I've had my personal stuff get lost during Q4. I've had customer stuff get messed up. There's been ice storms and power outages, and I just don't select any of the fast shipping during Q4. What about you?
I don't. I have had it on accident, and I learned the hard way during Q4 that was just too hard. I would get an order at 12 o'clock, and I had to hurry up and pack it and prep it and go drop it off at the mail store. And I was like, oh no, how did that order get through? So yeah, that during Q4, that's just too crazy. So I don't do that anymore.
Yep. We've got a question here from Armajan. How do you organize FBM products? I stack them up around the warehouse, and I use a lot of laundry baskets and or garbage sacks, clean garbage sacks. So if I do plush usually goes into a clean garbage sack, non-scented. You don't want to scent your items, Febreze smell or whatever it is. So anything that can go into a trash bag, I just load up in there. And I always list about 5 to 10 less than what I actually have, because Amazon oversells. If you don't know that yet, be prepared. Amazon will oversell you 100%. If it is games, like say boxes of Legos, it goes out and I just stack them up, Barbies in a stack. And I keep going out and I'm refilling those stacks, and I'm always keeping my inventory about 5 short. Do I have to select the shipping services? Yes. So you go through here and you're going to select. I don't do the Amazon shipping. I haven't really looked into that. And I will select first class, priority. I don't do express. I will do the UPS ground and 3-day select. There was one over SurePost.
I do FedEx home delivery also.
Okay, home
And it's up
delivery.
to you. It's your preferences. As far as when I don't say you, Lucy, I mean those of you watching. This is just an example, but you can do UPS and FedEx, especially if there's one close to you. Just be very careful not to pick those overnights or those 2 days or the express. A couple of reasons. One, those prices are much higher, and the customer is expecting it like very quickly. And as you know, during Q4, mail delivery can be slower or delayed, and you want to prevent having a lot of angry customers, or, people are already going to message you saying, I didn't get my package. And so you don't want to guarantee those very fast deliveries. And they should know when they're going to get it, because when you're shopping on Amazon, just as when you're shopping on Amazon, you usually see expected delivery date is. And so the customer's already going to have an idea when they buy it, when they should be expecting it based off of this template.
Yep. Now, shipping service priority, we're going to talk a little bit about that more as well. You're going to have 2 options. If you have multiple options up here, you will see this. If you only select one thing, then you don't see this box down here. I have Amazon estimating the longest delivery time based on the customer's location, which is typically the cheapest. And that means if they see their, whatever, their box of Legos, and they're like, when am I going to get it? Typically, it will say 3 to 5 days, business days, based on their location. It will say you should expect this by whatever Tuesday, and I'm fine with that. If you want to prioritize, and you always ship out priority mail or something, then you can adjust that. I think the next slide, is shipping locations. You have to ship to the lower 48. That's the default. You have to. That's the minimum. You cannot say, I don't want to ship to California because I hate California. You don't get that option. So you have to ship to the lower 48. The options are Hawaii, Alaska, the our what do you call it? Our
For the military?
no, the Puerto Rico, Guam, etc. Our territories. Is territories the best word?
I don't know that they're called territories. It says it right there, protectorates. I don't know what
Protectorates. I had Guam. I took Guam off. I do Puerto Rico.
I also
And
do
then
Puerto Rico, and I also took Guam off because I've always had an issue being able to successfully get the label printed out and purchased on Amazon. I just have encountered a lot of issues when it goes to Guam, but I do Puerto Rico and I have no issues. A lot of people don't do the bottom one you highlighted, the APO, FPO. I do check that. I do deliver. That's military. And a lot of loved ones love to send gift to their military family members. And the label comes out a little differently. It's not difficult to do, but when you first print one out, if you've never done one before, it looks odd. And it's okay. Everything is on there that's supposed to be on there. You don't have to do anything. You just put that label on your package. And I'm happy to send things to the military. And the shipping price is the same as if you're sending it within the US.
I just looked up for you, Lainey. Ground Advantage is not on there yet. They came out with the email last night, and I took these screenshots mostly yesterday and the day before, and they do not have Ground Advantage on there yet. So I don't know. That'll probably
It
come
still
out like
comes
this
out
week.
like first class as of right now. The post office takes it. You
Yeah.
don't need to worry about it. It'll work itself out.
Yeah. You'll see it when you see it. I know eBay started showing it, about 3 weeks ago? And so now I have that option on eBay, but I have not seen it physically. As of this morning, it is not showing as an option. All right. So I like the APO sites, and usually I love the military customers because they're like, yeah, I know, we get it when we get it. They know that
And
stuff.
I usually put a nice little note in when it's going to a military person, thanking them for their service, even though it wasn't from the person. They didn't ask me to do it. I've never had anyone be mad that I've done that. That's just something that's on my own heart for our service guys. So that's what I do. You don't have to do that.
Yeah. But some things are not practical to do military. It's
Mhm.
I have one guy that sells very large equipment, and it's not practical for him to ship to Hawaii, Alaska, Puerto Rico, etc. So, it depends on your inventory. Millennial Mom says that she sees Ground Advantage and First Class. I'm looking at it right now. I don't have it yet. So lucky you. Moving on.
I met
Premium.
Millennial Money Mom at ASD this week. It was so nice meeting her.
Yes. I wish I was there. I was sad. And yeah. All right. Premium shipping automated preferences. I wanted to bring up what this is because I didn't quite understand it, and I've never done it. So I'm like, well, let me pull up and see what it is. Lainey says she doesn't see it either. Yes, thank you. But it should be soon. Shipping settings automation is an enhanced shipping template that automatically calculates accurate delivery promises to your customers based on my location, their location, and transit time. Yeah, this is probably why I never did it, because Q4 is crazy time, and I don't believe that I don't know. I just haven't messed with this, but if you wanted to read more into it, you can. Do you need to? No. You can skip this part. I've skipped it for years. Have you ever done this one?
Go back.
It's
To
the
what
second premium shipping automated preferences.
I will have to look. I want to say that I have. Um, I will have to actually look at my template. It's been a while since I've updated it. I'm going to actually do that today. I thought after our live, I'm going to update mine. I'll have to let you know on Messenger if I do have that.
I think if I had a private label drop ship from China type of business from the manufacturers over there, I would set up maybe something like this, because then you could use, UPS 3-day
Yes,
air or
but
something like
if I
that.
do, I think I have just the first class and the UPS ground, and that's it. I don't do any, and FedEx ground. I don't do anything further than that than in Q4.
Yeah. I mean, Amazon already kind of calculates, so I feel like
Yeah.
it's very redundant. Um, anyhow, all right. Now that I've selected my services, and for purposes of this video, I just had Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico tacked on, and just first class and priority mail. And then you're going to click confirm. So now going in, this is what I actually have. This is my shipping template. So if you wanted to pause and see what I have and copy me, I don't care. Do know that I do like the APO site. So I do APO and I do Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico. I have no problems with them. I do take Guam off, as we discussed. And I do offer expedited, but I charge very hefty fees for if you want something expedited. I don't mind expediting it. I had somebody expedite something. It was an office supply, and it was a school that they paid up for expedited. And what was weird is like the first class mail was 3 days or something. The best expedited was about 3 days. And I'm going, well, you're throwing money down the drain, but whatever. That's what
And I
school
want to
districts
point
do.
out, because it doesn't really show that on here, but with
Mhm.
where it says the column that says shipping fee, you can change those dollar amounts. You can input those
Oh, I have
in.
it right here.
I believe. Okay, there you go.
So this is what it's going to look like if you go in and edit it. So this would be the page, and then all I did was I clicked the edit up here. So if you just want to see what's going on with your shipping, you can see the overview here. And then I clicked edit. And here we can change the name. So if I didn't want migrated template, but I've had it for so long, I feel, I don't know, I should change it. You can either do per item weight based, which is what I like, or you can do price banded. And this is by the total amount of the order. So
Which,
if you wanted, go ahead.
no, I was going to say that the price per order has nothing to do with necessarily how heavy it is, or I don't like to use that. I like to do per item and weight based.
I do too. I could see though, if you were shipping maybe something large, I'm thinking like sets of bed sheets, and you
Yeah.
wanted to offer, um, discounted or, a flat rate and just charge $20 for shipping. And then if you order more, you only pay $10 extra for each additional set of sheets or something like that. But yeah, I kind of have mine dialed in. And so I don't really have any inventory that would
Yeah.
want me to question that. You can put your shipping address is here, your preferred carriers, and this is where you're going to edit, and then you go back to those boxes. So when you edit here, it goes right back to those
Yeah, when
boxes.
you click on edit that she has circled, that is what opens up those boxes down below that she has highlighted in yellow, the 4.99. That is what allows you to change the dollar amount in those boxes.
No. The edit is those boxes that we just went through, the where you can select your regions and all of that.
Okay.
These you just type in straight up. You can overwrite that. So you just click on this box and you can change it. You can also take off PO boxes if you don't like it. And then most of us in the migrated clicked this free economy shipping because Amazon would love it if we all shipped for free. You're going to want to off click that if you don't want free shipping. If you want free shipping, click it on. And this is just the other half of it. So as you go down, you can see I can turn on and off PO boxes. Some people don't like shipping to PO boxes.
Some people don't. I do.
Yeah. I've never had a problem with it.
Either.
So I keep it on. And then you want to make sure you have these all filled out. And then I think the last one is this one. Yeah. So expedited. I only ship to the lower 48 for expedited. You could add more regions. You can adjust the price here. You can adjust the transit times. I forgot to say that. Where is it? Okay. If you have a drop down, sometimes you can adjust the transit times, but I have it on automation. And then we've got 2-day, 1-day. I don't do either of those. And you can turn on and off international shipping. Do you do international shipping?
I do not.
Me neither. Yeah, that's just one headache that I'm not ready.
Yeah, the only place I do international is on eBay, but
Mhm.
I have the eBay program where I send it within the US and then the
Yep.
eBay takes over it from there. I forgot what that's called on eBay, but for Amazon, I don't. I don't trust myself or trust to know what the shipping would cost or what I need to do, so I just don't.
Well, and there's certain regulations, like you can't really ship to Ukraine and Russia right now, and you can't ship clothing to Italy. So there's country regulations. Italy won't allow you to ship shirts, and that's probably the number one thing that I see on the Facebook. I sold an eBay item and it's going to Italy, and but I can't send it. What's going on? Well, because it's a
Yes.
shirt, and you cannot do that. It's an Italy thing. All right. Under general shipping settings, we're going to go over that next. You've got your default address here. You can edit and change that. And then you want to make sure your fulfillment hours are set to whatever you want. So if you don't ship on Tuesdays, go take Tuesdays out. If you ship on Saturday, go put Saturday on there. I don't remember if the default includes Saturday, but I know somebody got stuck with a bunch of orders and then they were getting late orders because they had Saturday turned on. eBay Global Shipping. Thank you, Armand.
Yes. eBay Global Shipping. I wish Amazon had that.
Yeah, that would be nice. Anna says, since Amazon loves free shipping, will that affect sales if you charge for shipping? Do you get around the same amount of sales?
That's a great question.
Yeah, it is. I feel that you get the same during Q4 time.
You get the same, but the way this was explained to me before, and I brought this up last year when we went over how to do a shipping template. If you charge or if you don't charge for shipping, Amazon does not give you the merchant fulfilled shipping credit. If you do charge for shipping, Amazon gives you a merchant fulfilled shipping credit. So you actually lose out by not charging shipping. I know we've debated this before and we looked up that rule. And this is a way I have always understood it. Does this ring a bell to you when I brought this up last year? When you scan with your Amazon seller app to see if something is profitable in the store, you can toggle between FBA or merchant fulfilled in the Amazon seller app to plug in the price of the item. And if you all have your phones and you want to look on your phone to see what I'm talking about, you will see that there is a shipping credit in the merchant fulfilled part of your phone. Let me
There we go. The credit is for the individuals.
individual plans. So it has nothing to do. So sellers like us that send in to FBA as well as merchant fulfilling, are you saying this doesn't apply to us? It's only for sellers that only do merchant fulfill shipping?
Has nothing to do with it's the individual plan. So if you pay the $40 a month, you don't get that credit.
Okay. So I know that all I remember is back when I learned this, I've always known that I don't do the free shipping because of this. So there are going to be some people watching that aren't then on the paid plan, and you want to then make sure that you are charging for shipping, because you would then have to deduct that shipping credit, and you may find that you're selling things at a loss because you were offering the free shipping.
Yeah, the Eastern Rose, the shipping credit is BS. Yes, it is confusing.
Very confusing.
Because if you are a pro seller, you're not going to get that credit. And so you got to unfactor that into the calculations, which should be a setting. They ought to make it a setting, but they don't really
They
want
should
to
make it a
upgrade.
setting, because there are so many people that make that mistake. I just want to pull up. I know it's very hard to share. This is not a good listing to show that example.
The other thing that I was just going to say is it may be fixed now, but there was a time period where if you did not have free shipping and you just charged more for the item, you weren't getting the buy box and you would get high pricing errors. So that's another thing to think about. If you're getting high pricing errors, maybe bring your price down and then charge for shipping, and it gets rid of that error. It's crazy. Lainey says, I have the 2-day and the 1-day options selected in my template and no option to deselect these. These show up above the international. Maybe I selected something by mistake in the earlier steps. You did. So go click that edit button and go through those boxes again.
Here is, see, you can't really share your screen, unfortunately.
Snapshot it, send it to me in the chat and I'll put it up.
And Okay.
If we can do that. If we can do that, we will do that. While she's doing that, I will go on to this one. At the very bottom of your shipping settings is going to be the holidays, and then I want to get into the handling time, but I see the thing. Let's see if I can bring this up. All right.
So when you're in your Amazon seller app, see how I have selected seller fulfilled, or you would toggle over to Amazon fulfilled, as most of us will be doing. When you're seller fulfilled, you'll see that the new price, or the buy box price, is $26.79. There's that shipping credit of $5.74. That's what I'm talking about. If you don't charge shipping, if you do free shipping, you don't get that credit. So, if we're talking about those of you that don't have the professional seller plan, and that's where the math gets tricky, because then your final profit isn't correct.
Yep, it is silly. All right, we'll touch on Anna's question right after this. I wanted to talk about handling time. You've got 2 spots. So let me clear this up, because there's 2 spots kind of for handling time. On this page, you get 0 days, 1 day, 2 day. That means an order comes in, it will tell you when it needs to be shipped. So don't worry about trying to calculate things. But if it comes in Friday at 1 o'clock or Friday at 3 o'clock, it will tell you when you need to ship it by. Pay attention to that. It's easier than trying to calculate the days and the time and But the other spot is within the listing. You can add additional time to it. So if you're doing handmade items, let's say you're doing embroidery on an item and you do whatever, stockings with an embroidered name for the kiddos on there, you can go into that listing and say, I need at least 5 days to get the embroidery done, and then have the shipping time set on there. So just make sure you're aware of that. Don't get caught up in that. 2 days is the max you can do here. They're always telling me to go to 1 day. No, Amazon, I'm going to 2, because I have kids, I have a life, and whenever I switch to that 1 day, that's when life happens, and I wind up doing just something happens and I get delayed, and I don't want it. The order handling capacity I have set at 400. That means if I get 400 orders in a day, it's going to cap, and I'm not going to be able to get any more merchant fulfilled orders for that day. So if you have something that's a hot seller and you have 3,000 and you sell out in 8 hours, can you pack all 3,000? That's a question for you. Do you have anything to add on to this?
No.
Okay, that's my spot to pause for a second. And do you want to read Anna's question?
Yes. What about outside of Q4? Will it be the same as far as same amount of sales? No. Outside of Q4, you're never going to be as busy with merchant fulfilled sales. I'm currently doing free shipping and get a good amount of sales, but I feel like I would get less if I charge. Any thoughts? No. So, because this is the way I look at it, I sell merchant fulfilled all year round along with my FBA. So I do a combo of both. And I have always charged for shipping, because if I if I want to sell my item for $10, but I know it's going to be almost $5 to ship, I'm charging $10 for my item, and my shipping charge is $5. If I'm doing free shipping like you are charging $15 for your item, because you have to factor in what you know it's going to cost you to ship it. In the end, you're still charging the same. You're still charging the $15, whether you're doing free ship or not free shipping. So I think outside of Q4, it's okay to do free shipping, but you're definitely going to have to figure out what those items cost you to ship. If you have a good leg up on that, you know that these items cost these particular amounts to ship, then you don't really have to rely on your shipping template. You're just going off of what you already know when you're pricing it accordingly to profit.
There is no real such thing as free shipping.
No.
We're getting into this one next, Lainey. So the next part of these videos is when you get an order, what does it look like? How do we do that? What's going on? And then the last part, because this is a long one, the last part is going to be common questions and issues. So when you get an order, it's going to be click the 3 little lines and go to, it's like orders, manage orders. It's pretty easy to find. It will also be on your dashboard. You have orders, you have orders. It will also ping your phone. You have orders, you have orders. So make sure you're set up for that. Some people have accidentally turned their notifications off on the phone for orders, and or maybe you're getting so many orders you want to just turn that off so that you're not pinging all through whatever Sunday night. You've got pending. Don't worry about pending. Things get stuck in pending all the time. It will work itself out. There's nothing you can do about it. Please don't go to the boards and be like, it's been stuck for pending for 2 weeks. It's just going to work itself out. There's nothing you can do. Unshipped, canceled, and shipped. And then down here, you can do quick filters, ship by today, premium unshipped, business, verge of late, verge of cancellation. You will want to make sure that you are on top of all of this. Here we've got drop downs. You can look at the last 365. I had to do that because I don't remember what I was doing, but typically it's the last 3 days. So let's say something comes in Friday morning and you're planning on shipping it Monday afternoon. That's more than 3 days old. So you're going to see that it's like on the verge, but you don't see it here. Go drop down your filter. I've seen that quite a bit. I've even gotten stuck on that where I'm like, where'd my order
I've
go?
done that too. I've done that too, where my orders were lost. I thought I had shipped everything out, and I got a notice that a shipment was late. And
Mhm.
it's because where yours says last 365 days,
Yep.
I think mine was set on the last day. And so here it was Monday, and I had orders from Saturday,
Mhm.
and I needed to now get them out on Monday, and they just weren't showing. And it's because I had toggled that and forgot about it.
Yeah. Ship by date. This has a whole bunch of drop downs too. And I think the default is like the oldest and you need the newest. So I can never remember if it was ascending or descending. I just toggle between the two.
Mhm.
You can have, this is how many are going to be shown on the page. So mine is set at 15 during Q4. Maybe you want to have 20, 30, 50, I don't know, whatever this drop down allows you to do. You might want to do that. I've never really messed with the set table preferences, and then refresh just refreshes the page. So whatever. We will get to you, Nate, in just a minute because yes, you can ship outside of Amazon, but we will talk about that in a minute. Buy shipping in bulk is awesome. It is great. If you have, like, we would group everything up and you can also search. So drop this down, and we had one, we'll just say Chelsea Barbie with the horse or the Pegasus or whatever. If you can remember how to spell Pegasus, you can do that. But you can either do by ASIN. So we would drop this down, do search by ASIN, plug in the ASIN, and then go click, 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 buy bulk shipping. Make sure it's all going out the same, and then print out all those labels. And we're like, okay, we've got 28 of these stuffed animals. Go and tag and bag and do the bulk shipping. That is very, very nice to have. So you've got two options: buy shipping, confirm shipping. These two options are within the order as well. So if you want to go outside of Amazon and buy shipping outside of Amazon, you can just confirm the shipping. You say, there's a drop down and you can say it was FedEx or mine is usually FedEx. So giant squishmallows, love them. Sometimes Amazon has me paying $30 for shipping via USPS or UPS. And I'm like, I can go pirate ship this sucker for $12 and then just plug in the tracking number, and it's worth the $20 in savings. My cost of goods was just about that. So if it gets lost, it's a wash. So I'd rather have the chance to make the money than, you lose your A to Z ability, but there's more of a chance that you're going to make some money off of it than spending $30 in shipping.
Yeah, when you click that confirm shipment button, it's just a simple window that pops up. There's a long empty box for you to copy and paste in that tracking number. Then usually the box next to it auto populates. It recognizes it as
Oh yeah.
USPS or FedEx. So it's very easy to use. So don't be afraid of that if you do buy outside of Amazon.
Yep. Yeah. And I will do that on big items like big Nerf guns, big Lego sets. Squishmallows is kind of the biggest one because it's like
Yeah, the big
$15 to ship
plush.
FedEx.
And then there's an option to print a packing slip. I've never printed a packing slip in all of my years of selling on Amazon. So for those of you that do that, you can, but you don't have to. I never do. And I've never had anyone ask me to please include one. Usually people ask me, please don't include, the price paid or a receipt, because they're gifts and they don't want someone to know what they purchased it for.
Every once in a blue moon, I will get a message, a private message that says, "This is for my sister. Can you include a Merry Christmas or whatever?" And I will gladly. I've got cheap cards, from my home or whatnot, that I will do that. But that's my decision. You could totally ignore that if you wanted to, but I like to be nice during Christmas time because it's that time of year. I did want to just mention you can view your FBA orders. A lot of people don't know that. You can toggle between your FBM, FBA right over here. And same thing, you can go filter. You can look by ASIN. When I'm trying to find returns for claims and crud like that, you got to go over there and take a look. I want to go over by shipping preferences. So if you are looking, Tina already knew this, so I felt like such an idiot yesterday. She's like, "Yeah, I've known that for years. It's not new." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever, Tina. Whatever, Tina." So if this happened with my guy, he's like, "I never ship UPS. I don't even want that option." And when you go to bulk shipping, it will automatically do whatever's the cheapest. So that's why I go out and I click off media mail, because sometimes that's the cheapest, and or the small flat rate envelopes. I don't want those. So you can go in and set your preferences. And that's where I am going here. There was a spot. I thought there was another spot to do it.
There is a spot to do. In fact, how you accessed it there from that looks like you found it on the help menu. I've never actually gone into the help menu to do that.
There was another spot here. Oh, it was when buy bulk shipping. It's at the bottom of buy bulk shipping. Bottom right and buy bulk shipping, you can get to this page too. So it is buy shipping preferences, and then click the first buy shipping preferences. And it's at the bottom. This is what bulk shipping looks like.
Yes.
So your bulk shipping is going to go here, and it's going to hopefully say USPS, 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 USPS. Every once in a while, you're like USPS, UPS, priority, mail. And I'm like, oh, I just want it all to go out at the same thing, because then I'm trying to go through those bags and separate out which, if you happen to give UPS one, that's USPS, or vice versa. They're friends, guys. They usually just exchange it. It's fine. Don't freak out. Don't lose sleep over it. They'll talk to each other. They always are tossing packages. Hey, I got one for you. I got one for you. Anyhow, so bulk shipping, you go down here, and then once you enter in a weight and package details, it will save it. So standardize your packing. All my whatever plush go out in blah, 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 and it will be filled out, and it will remember from the time before. And then right here, buy bulk shipping preferences. So you'll get your total here, and then you'll click buy. All right. This is what buy shipping preferences look like. You've got your default locations. So you're going to click your location, and then preferences right here. What is this? Preferences for all ship from locations. I don't have anything there. I don't do insurance. Do you do insurance?
No. I would do insurance if I sold very high priced items that I was afraid somebody was going to scam me, or that, that I felt like I could possibly lose out on a lot of money. I would, but I don't have $1,000 items that I'm selling.
Yeah. I think I've added insurance a couple of times, and it was when I got that gut feeling, and you're like,
something just felt off. And I've done that on eBay too, when it's a high end, when I've sold some high end coins or some high end baseball cards. And in reality, it should just be like a first class shipping, or even priority mail only covers, I forget what it is. Priority mail, you're insured for up to 100 or 150, something like that.
100.
And I have sold items that are over, like, not long ago, I just sold a coin for $300 on eBay that I went ahead and purchased the insurance.
Yeah. Anna, it will print out for each customer. So that's why you just got to look over that and make sure that the packaging is set correctly. And then The other thing is, let's say I'm selling these lovely jars, but pretend it's a stuffed animal because I do more stuffed animals. Anyhow, so customer one has one jar, customer two has two jars, customer three has three jars, and then it's another one, one, one. It will calculate all of that. So just make sure all of the, the weights and dimensions are fine, because if I'm shipping out three, maybe I ran out of my normal box, I'm doing a different box or whatever. And then you just get it all squared up, see how it's going to go out, because I like to do it the same shipping so I don't have to separate them. And then when it prints out, it'll be customer one, customer two, customer three. The issue with this, where my packers would mess up, is they'd just go one, 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 one. And then the customer gets it and they're like, well, where's my other two? I'm like, you guys got to pay attention to the
Yeah,
quantity.
I don't like the bulk shipping feature. I do my shipments one at a time. Plus, I get confused. I've done it before, and then you get all these labels printed out, and then I'm looking at the other side of it to go, okay, that one goes to it just confuses me. I like one at a time, and I have everything on a table. I have them all lined out. So as I print out my label, I lay it on top of the order that it goes to. That's my
Yeah.
system, but it's what works for you.
Xana was in charge of shipping two Christmases ago, and she liked to go through and do the bulk, and she'd do all the singles. So all the single stuffed animals, she'd bulk it out. So let's say there's
Yeah.
six, and then on the back of the label with a Sharpie, she'd go, one, 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 and then give it to the other
Yeah.
gals to put one in, and then she'd do all the sets of two and the sets of three. And by the time it got done towards the end of the day, it was the one-offs where they ordered one of this and one of this, or weird
Weird
things going on.
orders.
Just kind
Yeah.
of streamlined it a bit. Extra work. Yeah, it all depends. We had times where we were doing, 28 stuffed animals in a day. So going through and doing
I
28
would still do it
clicks.
one at a time because that's me. But I also work with my husband, right? So he's on one side of the table grabbing the order, putting it in the bag or the box, and I'm printing out the label and handling it to him. So if it is a whole bunch of one of just stuffed animals and we had 10 of those, I will do all of those, and I hand them to him, and then that's all he's working on. And then we don't even start the next one until we're done with that, because I will get overwhelmed, and I know me, and I'll accidentally hand a wrong label or put it on the wrong item. I have to hyper focus because my brain is too busy all the time. So that's why I have to be so methodical that way. But that's why I always tell people that doesn't mean my way is the right way, or that Lucy's way of doing them in bulk is the right way. You have to do what works for you.
Yeah. So we were talking about organizing, and I have space, and it was the garage before this space. And so we would buy things and we'd sort them and we'd make sure they were all lined up. And when they're all lined up, you can look at them a certain way and make sure it's the blonde, the blonde, the blonde. You don't have like a brunette or a redhead in the dolls or whatever it is. If you have the Legos, it's all the green truck in the bottom corner. And you can easily see if you have a variation that's in the wrong pile. So that was one of our good checkpoints. And then Xana would come in the morning, and we did this last year with the girls, but she would come in the morning and be like, okay, I'm going to do all of the Barbies, and it's going to be all the singles. And then she'd print it out, and you'd have this long thing of labels that's in a circle, rolled up. And on the back, she'd say singles for, blonde Barbie, and put that on top of the
Yeah,
Barbies.
that's a really good point, because when you are doing those dolls, especially if it's baby alive, and it's the same baby alive, but one's the blonde and one's the brunette, you do have to make sure you're paying attention to what doll you're grabbing. So that is a very good point. I do want to address Lainey's question about how do we know how much it's going to cost, because I didn't see this in your slides.
Not
I
yet.
know I didn't know
We're
it's
getting there.
this. Okay, but there is something when we get to that point I want to bring up that wasn't in your slides.
Well, we can talk about it now. Let's go for it.
When you want to know how much does something cost, what I like to do when I set up my template several years ago is I go on to the post office website and I will punch in a fake address or a real address, but that I get off the internet, from my house to Manhattan in New York City. Because I'm in the West Coast in Las Vegas, so I might as well be in California. It's going to cost me the most to send it to Manhattan in New York City. And I will pick an address there somewhere for a first class item or a priority item. So I'm creating a fake shipments, like I'm going to purchase this label on the post office's website. And that way I get a general idea of how much something that weighs 2 pounds is, or, if it's priority or if it's first class. That way I use that as my default baseline, where Lucy had that $4.99 on hers and the extra per pound. That's where I get my baseline from, is from where I live to the furthest points away. If you're in Middletown, America, you could use California, New York, it'll probably be about the same. And that can be your baseline pricing. And then you can go ahead and add on the 99 cents per pound after that, or $1.99, whatever you want that to be on that additional box. And that helps you foolproof it. If you also use Inventory Lab, I create all of my merchant fulfilled listings in Inventory Lab. Inventory Lab not only allows you to create your FBA shipments, but Inventory Lab also allows you to create a merchant fulfilled batch. So you can plug everything into Inventory Lab, the price you paid, just as if you were making an Amazon shipment. You close out your batch, except there's no stickers to be printed out or no shipping boxes to be made. And it just puts your, I'm going to call it a shipment, if you will, your batch into your Amazon account. So when you now sell that item, merchant fulfilled, and you go into your Inventory Lab reports, you're going to look at your reports for your merchant fulfilled items sold. Inventory Lab already knows what you paid, and Inventory Labs knows how much you had to pay for that shipping label. You will see at a glance if you are profiting or if you are losing money on a shipping label. And that is a real quick way to remedy if, like, oh, wow, I'm really losing too much money, I better up my price on my shipping template. Then you can go back into your shipping template, hit that edit button, and increase that baseline of your pricing.
That is all excellent, excellent information. I have found that the $4.99 plus $4.99 works for the style of inventory that I have, which is small toys. I mean, it's just toys, shipping lots and lots of toys.
And you're a good example for that, because you live in the West. I mean, you live in the upper West Coast,
Yep.
But your shipping is also going to be far. It's all the way across the United States. So your shipping template is a great example, I think, for anybody to be safe enough to use.
Right. And so I do, when I'm testing a new product for merchant fulfilled stuff, I'll buy about 3 of them, just like I do for RAOA. And I'll buy 3, and then I'll ship those 3, and then I'll take a look. Was the shipping on par? Was it, was I priced okay? And I typically make, I would say, between 20 cents to $1 off of shipping. And that gives me enough leverage that if I need to, up it a little bit here or there, or if I lose out on 1 or 2 oddballs, that I am okay.
Mm-hmm.
Lainey says, I don't use Inventory Lab. Thanks for the info on pricing by using USPS and
referencing back to the template-based price. Yeah, it's very, very helpful. So you just go onto the post office as if you're going to buy you can even use Pirate Ship if you want. You can go onto Pirate Ship, pretend you're typing in, you're going to pretend mail a package, and you'll get that price, because you're not committed to buy that label. So it's just giving you a cheat sheet of pricing.
All right. So back to buying shipping preferences.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go down to preferences and click edit, and you're going to get this page, which you then can drag your carrier over. So if you ship from manufacturer out of China, you're going to want to have maybe only 1 or 2 and set up that template just for that, because you're not ever going to use some of these other ones. So I went in and I think I did USPS first, UPS second, and FedEx third. So that way it defaults and I have my preferred carrier. If you go ahead.
As I said, the one thing that always perplexes me on this one, and I've never used it, but I've thought, are we allowed to do this? How it has self-delivery. So if someone orders this in my city and lives down the street, can I knock on their door and say, you opted for self-delivery, here you go?
I don't know, because I was looking at that too, and then I love the blank. Like, what's the blank one? And I like, is this a different word? Is this in like German or something? Delivery?
I don't know.
If you noticed the other day, all the buttons were broken too. The buttons were messed up, and I'm like, I can't Amazon anymore. Unwind asks you, could you estimate using pirate ship like you mentioned?
Yes, you absolutely can.
Excellent. All right. And pirate ship, do all your scheduling. If you don't know that tip yet, do all your scheduling, just schedule what you want. And I go through for USPS, I will go to the USPS site and you can select multiple days. I just go from Black Friday to like December 22nd and schedule a pickup on every day. Just come here every day. I will have something for you every day. And just schedule that out. Yeah, so that's what I did there. And then let's see here. What is this? Edit your preferences for all locations, package types, confirmation settings, and insurance settings. If you wanted to default these, if you sold high-end, Apple Watches all day long, you'd probably want to have preference of what do you call it? Insurance. I don't. And then we've got common issues. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think I added on the shipping side, when you go purchase shipping on Amazon, there's going to be a drop down and you can select whichever one you want. So as I'm getting closer to December 25th, I will look at those dates, and sometimes you can pay a nickel more and have it be delivered 2 days early. And that is something I really, really watch come December 20th. I will look at those ship dates when I'm selecting how I want to ship things out. We have the driver's cell phone number 2. Absolutely. And what was it no, it was the year before. My guy always liked a cup of hot black tea. Hot black tea, nothing in it. I will have that for you at 4:00 every day. 4:00 come and I'd get up and I'm like, kids, get the kettle going. We have one of those electric kettles. And they're like, why? I'm like, I got to make the post guy tea. And they're like, why are you making him tea? Because he needs tea. Just trust me. It's in my benefit. And treats for the pickups. Yep. Always the treats. My UPS lady, though, put chocolates in her pants the other day, in her pockets, and then they melted. She said it was a mess. Like, you got to eat your chocolate. You can't let it sit there. So we already talked about the common things of not having your correct drop-down menus. Yeah, this was from Reno yesterday. I'm like, I need a thing of the buy shipping and the confirm shipping. There we go. This is it. We have it. So, sorry, it's a bad picture. I didn't have any that I could screenshot yesterday. When you are first shipping something and you don't have your dimensions in, you need to click this change parcel dimensions, unless if you have packaging set up. So if you want to set up some some packaging defaults, if you always ship out of an 8x10x4 box, you can add
I have
that
my
in there.
free UPS boxes, and I think it's 12 10x3" and 9 7 and 3". I can't remember. I think that's what those are. I have those boxes already programmed in, so that from that drop down menu, if I know it's going in that box, I will select that. I put in my weight. I want to mention that sometimes it is cheaper to put it in a padded priority flat rate envelope from the post office. So please set up your accounts with USPS and order the free supplies that they give you, because the USPS padded, it's the bubble padded mailer. It is a flat rate envelope that costs, I want to say it's $8.75 to mail. Sometimes it is
More
cheaper
now.
to put it, yes, sometimes it is cheaper to put it in that envelope and mail it than it is to put it in the item. Now, the free boxes that we get, is it UPS free boxes? The craft ones.
Yep.
The smaller box fits in that envelope. So sometimes I have items that are a little bit heavy, so it's more than first class. It wants to go priority. I can fit it in that box. I take the corners on my table because they're sharp, and since it's cardboard, I just kind of smooth it out, just quickly like dent the corners, and it slides in that bag perfect. And you can tape it shut. It goes in that bag perfectly. And then instead of paying, say, $12 or more to have the item in that box, you put it down in that bag, and now you're paying, don't quote me, but I think it's $8.75. And you're saving money, and you're using the free supplies to ship out your item. I ship like that so often during Q4.
These boxes are awesome for Legos. I know I shipped a lot in. Multiple packs of ornaments, the Hallmark ornaments. It does take a little bit of work to get it in. I'm not gonna
I've
lie.
got it down. I slip them right in there.
If you had to do, 500 of these a day, it would be bad. But you saw how I just banged the corners? That helps not rip the package going in.
Yep.
So these
And
guys
those are just little, yeah, those are just little shipping hacks that I do. But definitely get those free supplies. The post office has a lot of nice flat rate boxes. So if you want to program in your box sizes in your Amazon shipping, you can program in the flat rate medium or large size boxes. Sometimes it's cheaper to put it in a regular brown box that you buy. I know Nate, he mentions getting an 18 by 18, whatever size box there. If you are buying boxes, check. So what I'll do is I want to see which way is going to be cheaper for me. If I will go ahead and have it in a box and weigh it. And then I'll change the dimensions. For that, you have to put in even though the envelope will be more, it's like 12, 7, and then I think 1 inch, because if you put the 3 inches that it actually is, that drop down menu is not going to populate that padded mailer as an option. So you do have to get clever how you put in the dimensions, and it doesn't matter if it's really more than 1 inch and it's 3 inches, because it's still fitting in that padded flat rate mailer. So if you want to program in that drop down menu, the post office's free boxes dimensions in there, you can just select that as your sizing.
Yep. And then if you don't have any of that and you don't know, you can go change partial dimensions and put in what you want.
Yes.
And if you have already sold exactly that item before, it will save it. So this will be populated. However, it shows 00, even if you have it saved, but the shipping options will show up. So put in the weight. If it's 0 pounds and 3 ounces or whatever it is, put that in. Then you're going to get all the shipping services populated right here, which we don't have. And there'll be a button to expand it. So if you want to look at everything, open it up and look, see what's going on. You can do the confirmation and declared value. And then right up here, can't see, but right up in here, there is a spot to confirm shipping. So if you just wanted to put, if you're like, oh my God, the shipping is terrible here, I'm going to just ship it pirate ship and put in the tracking number, you can just toggle over to confirm shipping and put in the tracking number. And then you hit buy. When you buy through Amazon, it charges your account and you get the A to Z guarantee. I have a couple questions here. Let's see here. Unwind says, do you guys think Amazon will have the FBM requirements this year? I do.
No. You think so? And I don't, because they didn't for 2 years in a row now, I think.
I think they will. I don't know.
You never know. They could trick us. And I can't even remember what that amount used to be, how many orders you had to get out, because the deadline was always by October, like 14th. You'd have to Google the dates. I don't remember.
It was right around the end of October, and you had to.
And I feel like if they're going to, we'll be getting emails very soon.
Yeah. Good question, though. I mean, and Tina and I wish we don't have an in there. We don't have any elite connections, so they're not going to tell you anything.
Yeah.
Candy does well in those boxes too. Yes, it does. And also 854 boxes fit in the padded flat rate as well. So if you wanted to buy something more squarish, that's how you ship a lot of coffee mugs. 854s in the flat rates. It's easy peasy. Raquel says, have you ever tried LTL shipping on Inventory Lab? I have not.
No, we talked about that in our meeting this week.
Yeah, everybody's saying that LTL is taking a long time to check in right now. And so I'm kind of hesitant because I don't want to wait 3 weeks for my stuff to get to the Inventory Lab, or get to be available for sale. So I'm like, I don't know. Lainey says, if shipping USPS, do I have to use the USPS envelope or box? Could I use a plain Molly for, okay. If you are not using the
flat rates,
and you can use whatever you want.
Yeah,
So
because flat rates are specific to the flat rate boxes or that padded envelope we just showed you. That is a flat rate padded mailer. On the post office's boxes, it will say flat, like medium flat rate or large flat rate, or their boxes simply just say priority mail on it. If it says flat rate, you have to buy the flat rate postage. If it just says priority mail on it or regional A, um, then you have to use what the box is.
So one of my favorites is this one, and it is a 7x7x6. It's really good. But like Tina said, if you cannot buy first class and put it on a priority box. You can buy priority and put it on the free box or any other box you want that's plain. So you do not have to
Yeah.
put priority on a
Yeah, so if
priority
you
box.
got your box from Walmart and it was a brown box, you can buy priority shipping or first class shipping if it applies to your just plain brown box, and you can put that label on there. You can ship it in your own box if it's priority. You cannot put flat rate priority mailing label on your own box. That must go on a priority flat rate mail box or envelope. Did I make that confusing?
I don't know. I'm sorry, I was pulling something. So it sounded great. It sounded great. Um, no, I'm just gonna load this up real quick.
Delaney, if that made sense, give me a thumbs up so I know. If not, I'll re-explain it a little more clearly.
I'll pop this in the chat in just a second, but this has all of my common shipping supplies. But most importantly, I have the shipping supplies over here. So the shoebox I just showed you and the number 4, these are my favorite. Shoebox for priority. It's a lot of good stuff in there. And this one, the 7x7x6, is my other favorite.
So yes,
to
Lainey,
have in stock.
priority or first class can go on any box or mailer. That's correct, whether it's the post office's priority boxes or your own. And flat rate must be on a flat rate box from the post office.
Yeah. So I will put that link in the chat. Go ahead and make yourself a copy of it. And then it has all the links to the boxes. So you don't have to remember that that's priority box number 4. That I know that because I've ordered it enough times, but it's LOL, use the appropriate flat rate label with the appropriate flat rate boxes. Yes. And if you still have regional boxes, regional went away, but you can use regional boxes for USPS shipping. Do not send any of those USPS boxes out into UPS. Don't put your UPS labels on there. They do get a little stinky about
And if
that.
you didn't watch us last Friday, our last Friday's episode was about how you save money with boxes, box sizes, shipping in to Amazon your FBA shipments. And I think that's going to be very good to know if you're shipping in a lot, especially starting now. I mean, it's really starting now for me and for all of us, Q4 shipping into FBA. So if you want to save money on your FBA shipments, go and watch last week's Friday live because we discuss it there.
Yes. So last week we went over this template, how to get this template, how to use this template, and what it means. And today my goal is to get that printed out and put on the wall so that I have the dimensional weights, because I got to go measure boxes. I have a bunch of free boxes and I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's good to use anymore. So wanted to go over a couple other little things that needed to be done, and we got to get moving along here because it's way past 9, but it's a lot. We're going over a lot. So in the menu under orders, we've already talked lots about manage orders. Order reports is where you can print out a scan sheet for your post office. So if you have 200 packages you're going to the post, don't expect those busy post workers to sit there and scan 200 items for you. Print out an order report that has a scan list for the post and hand that to your person. Be nice, hand it to them, and then they can go bloop and everything gets scanned in. And then your customers are happy because everything's been scanned in. Because really, when it gets busy, they chuck all that stuff in there. And when it gets scanned, it gets scanned. And then you get late because it's gone through 2 locations that hasn't gotten scanned into the system, or the system is down or whatever. Just print those out if you're going to do a lot of orders. Manage returns and manage safety claims. So I wanted to go over one of the big things is, oh my God, I need to reprint my label, or, oh my God, I need to void it. The customer canceled and I need to void it and I haven't shipped it out. So how do you handle that? Edit the shipment. Once you edit a shipment, you can go in here and you can reprint the label and you can refund the purchase shipping label. It takes, what, a month to get your money back, though?
It does take a month to get your money back if you have to cancel a label. I've accidentally purchased a first class label on a priority when I was busy, and I did that flip flopping of boxes, and I wanted to refund the label because I I didn't want to have to pay for priority for something that was 3 ounces.
Yep. So you can refund, you can reprint. You've got the ship by date. Always watch that. You've got the tracking number. So customer says, hey, I need the tracking number for that. It's for my sister and I'm super going to micromanage this delivery. You can go in here, copy and paste that tracking number in, easy peasy. You can say to your customer, okay, here's the tracking number. It was shipped in a 12 by 9 by 1 box. It went out USPS first class on the 23rd. Thank you. Have a good day. When you're calculating in the shipping, we talked about this a little bit. This is my slide. I do have the slide with them. I paid $4.44 to go out first class. I collected $6.54. So I collected $2 that goes into my profit calculations because I collected more and that just goes into my pocket. So that's nice. So if you wanted to calculate how much you made off this item, you would do $20 minus the tax, minus what you actually paid in shipping, minus your cost of goods, and you can calculate if that's profitable if you're not using something like Inventory Lab. If you go into, what was this? This is at the top of the page. You can refund the order. You can request a review. So if you are trying to build up your private label item and you want to request reviews, you can do this for merchant fulfilled or FBA items. And if you have, dashboard, what do we got? Seller board, you can set up emails to automate this request a review process. This information, address, and contact the buyer, don't do it. There's no reason any of us need to really contact the buyer. If you need to, there's one-off cases that if you absolutely need to call the buyer, you can and be like, hey, I dropped your item and it broke, but I can go get a new one on Tuesday and ship it to you, but it's going to be late. Is that okay? I don't know. Whatever. I've rarely called somebody. Have you ever called someone?
No.
I think I did it once 7 years ago, and that was it. Don't collect their information. Don't put it in a mailer. Just don't. That is against terms of services. You will be in big trouble. Right here, it tells you what they use to calculate their delivery promise. And as long as you're within that, you don't have to use FedEx SmartPost. So they calculated with the SmartPost, which is the longest delivery time. So the customer thinks they're going to get it within 5 days. And if you get it there in 3 days, that's great. You're not locked into the SmartPost. Let's see here. Manage returns. If you go into manage returns, you can see what's being returned and where it's at. Somebody asked today on the boards, how do I stop Amazon giving automatic returns when they scan it and it's been returned? You can't. Amazon does that. They will automatically approve the returns once it gets scanned in. A lot of times, though, people think they're going to return it. They start the return and then it sits in their car and they forget about it and they're like, whatever, I'll keep it or donate it. And so these will peter out. You don't have to do it. Don't bug your customer to return something. That's an easy way to lose money. But you can go in here and you can issue the refund. Let's say I sold, Reese's Pieces and they really wanted Snickers and I sent out the wrong item and it's my fault. I can go in here and say, okay, you've already started the return, but you don't need to ship that back to me. I'm just going to issue you the refund and do that. You can do that on this page. You can see what's been refunded. So you should have received that item back. Let's see here. You can do FBA returns. You can click on this return performance. And that one was weird. I don't ever really look at this. Do you, Tina?
No, I don't look at that, the return, but I do look, for FBA returns and what was returned and the reasons why. I look at that report monthly.
Yeah, I've got a return analysis. We'll get to your question in just a moment. This is one that I did a safety claim. So if you go to your manager safety claims, these guys, it was one of those like sealed things, kind of like Pokemon cards, where they opened it up, they took what they wanted, and they sent me empty boxes back. I was pissed. I was like, you little turds, you took my product. So you have to do a ton of pictures. You got to picture the packaging it came in, all of the labels, the item, what it looks like. I mean, be prepared to send in 8 photos for every safety claim you want to do. And safety claims are just for merchant fulfilled items. And then you have to file all that. So you have to file a new safety claim, explain what happened. The key word now in safety claims is to use the word switcheroo. So you could say that they switcherooed you, and that's supposed to be helpful. I don't know. I had to go way back to find a safety claim back in 2022. But that's how you file a safety claim. You got to go manage safety claims, file a new safety claim, pop it in, all of that. Check eligibility, you have to have the order number. So go back and find that order number. And then this is my template. So if you guys are in our Facebook group, you have access to all of our templates. If you want to pause right now and copy and paste this, go, or, write it out, go right ahead.
But if you're in the Facebook group, it's under files. We have some letter templates under files for what you can copy and paste as your reply to your customers. And there is an area when you reply to your customers where you can create those templates in your Amazon account. I think I have about 8 of them in there. Some I need to delete because they're outdated. They were for, during COVID where mail was messed up. But you can have templates. And that way you don't have to keep retyping it out every time. So I just use a drop down menu, select my template. Then maybe I change some verbiage that to apply to that customer.
Yes. This is probably, I just pulled my favorite one for Q4 because, they're like, oh, I lost my package or whatever. And you're like, okay, you're qualified for an A to Z guarantee. And to get that, this is how you do it. And then to receive the maximum refund, select package didn't arrive. And it's done. You don't have to back and forth with the customer. I have about 15 templates, and my whole goal is to not talk to anybody. Like, I don't want to sit there and engage and, did you check the mailroom? Did you check this? Did you check your sister? No, here's the template. Boom, go file it. I don't want to deal with you. Unwind says, do you guys charge a restocking fee? And this is like last call for questions. We got to get going here. Tina and I have work to do. So get your questions in now if you have any. He says, do you guys charge a restocking fee for FBM returns? I don't
think we can anymore. I feel like they took that away. I used to. It depends what it was for. If somebody returned something to me and it was my fault, or it arrived damaged. If it arrived damaged, I usually just refund them. I will ask them for pictures if an item arrives damaged because I want to use the photos to open up a claim with the post office for reimbursement of the damaged item. If the package was damaged, sometimes the postal workers, it's like you swear they jump on the box because I don't want it back, but I at least want to file the claim. If it is my fault, no, I don't charge or didn't charge a restocking fee. If it was I just changed my mind on the item, it was in my refund policy that there would be a restocking fee of a certain percentage rate because I wanted it to cover my shipping cost. But again, I don't think we can do that anymore. I feel like Amazon has taken that away. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know.
They took it away and then they brought it back.
Okay.
It was gone for a long time, and then they brought it back. It's kind of like Small and Light got updated in January, and by July it's gone, and then it's changing in August. So this is what the new policy is for 2023. Sellers can typically charge between 20 and 50% of the item price, depending on the return reason, type, condition, blah, blah, blah. I don't, and honestly, and I put this link in the chat too, so if you guys wanted to go and read this up, you can. I don't charge a restocking fee because I just don't get enough to really worry about it. out of 100 sales, I may have one or two returned. So it's not, I don't want to say it's negligible, but I certainly don't sit here and waste my time and worry about getting that and arguing with customers and inviting bad feedback, etc. Because if somebody charged me a stupid restocking fee on a stuffed animal that was $15, I'd be, maybe a little irritated with it as a
Mhm.
customer.
Yeah, you have to always put yourself, if it was you, what would you, want or expect? But you also have to look at it like a business.
Yeah. I do have to say that the level of my revenge, I don't think revenge is the right word, but the meaner the customer, the less likely I am to do anything in their favor. If they are nice and they're like, oh my God, I ordered 2 of these on accident and I need to return one and I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Sure, no problem. I will love to deal with that type of customer. If they are mean and nasty, yeah, I might be charging something on that or filing a counterclaim or whatever, and I will go to wrath. Exactly. I mean, it's the time of giving and all of that, and people make mistakes and get duplicate presents and all of that crud. So, don't, if it's a legit return, it's fine. I don't care about it. If you're going to be like the one that I did the safety claim about, you opened my product, you stole from me, and then you returned it. Yeah, I'm going to go after you. And Amazon is trying to weed out bad customers as much as well, maybe not as much as bad sellers, but they do keep an account health on sellers, just so you guys know. My friend got in trouble because she left too many negative reviews. All her reviews that she did was whenever she was upset. And so she only had negative product reviews. And then they told her she couldn't do any more product reviews because it was always negative. And she's like, I guess I got to do the positive ones too and balance it out. So if you're a bad customer, if you do too many returns, if you abuse it, if there's too many safety claims, they will eventually not allow you to return items or whatever their punishments are. It's certainly not as much, like sellers have way more of a bar to keep above than buyers, but they do try. They do try to keep up with that. All right. So we cover everything.
We covered everything. It would have been nice, I'm sure, if we could have just had it go smooth, how to set up a template, but we did give you a lot of information in between. So those of you that want to replay this, at least you can fast forward through some of the things and just get to that template walkthrough. And if
What template
we
walkthrough? What are you talking about?
template walkthrough for setting up your shipping template.
Oh, well, that was all at the first. We went
I
through that.
know.
Okay.
I'm just saying because we talked in between the slides. So if somebody just wanted to quickly go through and look at just the pictures, what to do, they
But
don't have
that's
to listen to the chit chat if they didn't want.
okay. There's like a million videos about that out there, and
Yeah,
Amazon will even like has a video on how to set it up. Problem is when it goes outside of the box because it's fine. It's pretty easy to set up your template.
yeah,
Pardon me. But when you need to reprint a label and it's 10 o'clock at night and you're freaking out, that's the part that you need to kind of
that's right.
plug away in your brain and be
Absolutely.
like, okay,
Yes.
I can handle it. I got it. I got it.
Yes.
I'm confident.
Agreed.
Nice. Lainey's going to have her first FBM item labeled this weekend. Are you doing any candy for Halloween FBM? Because that's kind of the first big FBM.
Yeah, especially since we can't send in meltables. So
Mhm.
I definitely want to sell the Halloween candy because there is some great money to be made there and give you some Q4 change for buying some toys for Christmas.
So do you do any meltables during that, let's say October 1st to the 20th?
Yes, I do because we can't send them in now. So I used to send in my candy, but now I have to merchant fulfill it because the date got pushed out further from Amazon last year. That by the time we're allowed to ship it in, it won't get there in time to be sold for Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm probably going to do all my Halloween candy merchant fulfilled. So
Hmm.
it's and just make sure that I'm ice packing if it needs to be ice packed. I mean, we're
Yeah.
starting to cool down here, but other areas are not. All right. What do you got going for the rest of the day?
Oh, I got a lot. I got a lot going on. I have to log off here because I have 2 coaching calls today I have to do, a little shipment to get out, and try to get as much done as I can.
I'm excited. I've got your bookkeeper messaged me, so I got to go set him all up. And then I've got my friend is going to start packing for me on Saturdays.
Nice.
And so I've got her kind of lined up for tomorrow because I'll be in here with her and my daughter. I'm going to drop my daughter off at the mall and then come into work and kind of rearrange my schedule a little bit, but it will be good. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it's that time to get it loaded up, people.
Yep.
And Lainey, you can do it. Once you do your first merchant fulfill order, you'll be like, oh, that was so easy. Why was I so afraid?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's not that hard. I didn't do it for years. And then I was like, oh my God, what? I'm missing out on us. Kind of like Small and Light. I didn't catch on to that boat until later. I'm like, oh, I should have done that. Nate's son is coming by. Oh, enjoy that. Enjoy your son. It'll be good. All right. Well, you all out there have an awesome Friday and a great weekend. And I hope you're getting lots of good deals. Oh, we forgot about the discount code, Tina.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus
We can do
Christ.
it next Friday.
All right. We'll do it next Friday. Next Friday, tune in. We're going to give a discount on the bundle course. So if you haven't purchased that and you are thinking about it, catch us next Friday because it's
Or
only
message
going to
us
run.
for those of you that are still hanging around. If you
Yes.
if you were interested, just message Lucy or I.
Yes. And we will get that up. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.
Okay, bye.